Dang, way off. There we go. Good morning, everybody. This is Don Blanc. Come on. All right, there we go. Try and see if we can get it to run here. Come on now. Oh, my word. I don't like this. Are we here? Are we here? Maybe I could stay. No. Hello. Put my hand right in front of the camera and it does not freeze. Move my hand away and it does. Or if I put my hands right in front of the webcam, it looks like it keeps going. But when I move my hand, it's like, oh, come on. Really? Here, let me go down just a little bit more here. All right, not as frozen as much. So we are going to get ready to do our 2013, maybe because I had it panned up too high. Had all those all my Beckett's and annuals and stuff in the background there. It said, no, you can't advertise all that stuff. I don't know. I got my top sets here. Down here we got a 15, 16, 17, and 18 complete sets. That's not all my collection, but that is part of it. Looks fine. All right, yeah, we're not freezing up as much now, so as soon as the time starts here, I'll pan down and I'll give you a brief preview of who we're going to go over for our 2013 Hall of Fame inductees. It is 10:29, so I got another minute here. It looks like there's 3 people in the stream. I got 2 thumbs up so far. All right, give me them thumbs up. Subscribe to me. Share this video if you like it. If you want somebody to also be involved in watching as I do the Hall of Fame inductees throughout the years. Started with 2019 last month in May, and we are now today, this week, 2013 inductees. So without further ado, I'm going to pan down just slightly here, and we're going to get started here. There's only 3 Hall of Famers that were put in. It's a little bit unique and different year. I guess they didn't have much going on with the Hall of Fame in 2013. So let me pan down to a little bit unique, different type of card setup here, since I didn't have any baseball cards for these players here. Did not have any baseball cards here for these players. But we do have 3 Hall of Famers today. Henry O'Day. Oops, hold on. Henry O'Day right here. He was also known as Hank O'Day, and sometimes some people called him the Reverend. So we got a Reverend, we got a Colonel, and we got a Deacon. So our second one here is Jacob Ruppert, sometimes known as Jake or the Colonel. And then also we got James White here, a.k.a. Deacon White. Deacon White. So yeah. So if any different people have wanted to ask me different questions, since I can't interact directly with you, I could see your chats on there and try and answer the questions when I see them. But this is my email address right on the bottom here. You can see it. dlbjhn316@aol.com. If you have any questions or you want to ask me a little bit more about what I do, or if you have any suggestions for me on different things I could do for my weekly schedule, or if you're looking for me to try and open up something if it's within my reach. I did just place an order recently from the Baseball Card Exchange and got 2 boxes coming in. 2 boxes of some older product for my Throwback Thursdays, and I'll be working on that coming up here soon. I do have some older boxes. I got some 1988 tops, some miscellaneous things. Usually when I do my box break Saturdays, it's usually newer stuff, newer boxes that I have, not anything big. But this will be a short one. If we do have a little extra time, I have a little bonus item here. We might bust that open. If anybody has any questions about that, we'll get to that as soon as we're done going through these 3 Hall of Fame inductees for 2013. So first on our docket here, we've got Hank O'Day. Hank O'Day. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013. He did not have a primary team, but his primary position was, Hank O'Day was an umpire. He was an umpire. He was a player, a manager, and an umpire, and a scout for over 40 years in the National League. Hank O'Day remains the only person to serve in the league in so many capacities. But it was an umpire where O'Day made his greatest mark on history in some of baseball's greatest games. And it's as an umpire that O'Day earned election to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, just the 10th arbiter to be inducted. Born July 8th, 1862. Oh, he was born the day before I was, but I wasn't born in 1862. My birthday's July 9th. This year it's the All-Star Game is on July 9th. O'Day made his Major League Baseball debut in 1884 as a pitcher for the Toledo Blue Stockings. In his 7-year career, O'Day went 73 and 110 with clubs like Pittsburgh, Alleghenies, Washington Nationals, and the New York Giants. In 1889, O'Day won 2 games with a 1.17 ERA win in the World Series to help the Giants to a 6-3 win over Brooklyn of the American Association. Coming off that successful season, O'Day had his best season in 1890, going 22 and 13, but en route to throwing more than 300 innings, he began to have arm trouble. That was the last season he would play in the big leagues, and O'Day ended his playing career in 1893 in the minors. He wasn't gone for long. O'Day returned to the National League as an umpire in 1895 and spent 30 years calling games. O'Day was chosen to umpire the first modern World Series in 1903 as the only National League umpire. He worked in 9 other World Series, second most in baseball history. In 1908, O'Day was involved in one of the most controversial plays in history. As the plate umpire during a Cubs versus Giants game, O'Day watched as Al Bridwell of New York appeared to hit a walk-off single to win the game. Fred Merkle, the Giants' 19-year-old first baseman, was on first base at the time and was never advanced from first to second when Moose McCormick, the runner on third, scored, a common practice of the ERA. Cubs players produced a ball, and Chicago second baseman Johnny Evers tagged second base, claiming Merkle was out and that the run didn't count because of the force out. O'Day ruled in favor of the Cubs, and Chicago later won a makeup game to win the National League pennant. O'Day was the home plate umpire for no-hitters in 4 decades, and also umpired the game in 1920 that featured the only unassisted triple play in World Series history, one of 10 World Series appearances. In 1912, O'Day took a break from umpiring to manage the Cincinnati Reds. They finished 75 and 78 and in 4th place. He returned to umpiring in 1913, only to manage again in 1914, taking over the Cubs from Evers. After another 4th place finish at 78 and 76, O'Day returned to umpiring for good. O'Day retired following the 1927 season and remained active in the National League as a scout for new umpires. So there we have it. Henry M. O'Day, Hank, or the Reverend, is our first inductee for 2013. All right, our next inductee, Jacob Ruppert, was inducted in 2013. His primary team was the New York Yankees, and he was an executive. That's his card right there. At the end of the video here, I'll hold them up to the screen and show you a little bit close-up picture of their, these are what they call Hall of Fame postcards. These are Hall of Fame postcards. I have the whole set of the Hall of Fame postcards, except for the new ones. As soon as they come out for the 2019 inductees, I'll add those into my collection. But, so Jacob Ruppert, the greatest sports dynasty in American history, began with a second division team in the country's premier city. Jacob Ruppert changed all that when he bought the New York Yankees in 1915. Baseball has never been the same. Now Ruppert joins baseball's immortals as a Hall of Famer in the class of 2013. For $450,000, we got an orphan ball club, said Ruppert, who purchased the team with Tillinghast, Houston. The club was without a home of its own. without players of outstanding ability and without prestige. Within a decade, Rupert had built Yankee Stadium, acquired Babe Ruth, and won the first of the franchise's record 27 World Series titles. Born August 5th, 1867 in New York City, Rupert was son of Jacob Rupert Sr., who owned the Rupert Brewery. At age 19, Rupert began work at the brewery, and by age 31, he was elected to the first of 4 terms as a United States Congressman from New York's 15th District. He chose not to run again in 1906, instead becoming a colonel in the 7th Regiment of the National Guard. Rupert inherited the brewery upon his father's death in 1915. That same year, Frank Farrell and William Devery, the original owners of the American League's entry in New York City, decided to sell the club to Rupert and Houston. After the Yankees finished no better than 4th in Rupert's first 3 years as owner, Rupert hired manager Miller Huggins on the advice of American League president Ban Johnson. 2 years later, Rupert bought Ruth from the Red Sox. The American League's best team of the second decade of the 20th century for a record of $125,000. In Ruth's first year with the Yankees, 1920, the Sultan of Swat obliterated the big league home run record by smashing 54 long balls. The Yanks won a team record 95 games that year and drew almost 1.3 million fans to the Polo Grounds, more than doubling their previous attendance mark. During the next 3 seasons, the Bronx Bombers won 3 American League pennants, a World Series title, capping off 1923, the year Rupert opened Yankee Stadium and bought the club outright from Houston by winning the franchise's first Fall Classic. Rupert would guide the Yankees to 7 more AL flags and 6 more World Series titles before his death on January 13th, 1939. As the 71-year-old Rupert lay dying in Lenox Hill Hospital, Ruth, at that point retired as a player and a soon-to-be enshrined Hall of Famer, visited him at his bedside. It was the only time in his life he ever called me Babe to my face, said George Herman Ruth, whose salary disputes with Rupert over the years drew much press coverage. I couldn't help crying when I went out. Rupert acquired more than a dozen future Hall of Famers during his tenure, including Frank Baker, Earl Combs, Bill Dickey, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, Lefty Gomez, Joe Gordon, Waite Hoyt, Tony Lazzeri, Herb Pennock, and Red Ruffing, and Ruth. On April 16, 1940, the Yankees dedicated a plaque in Rupert's memory that now rests in Monument Park in Yankee Stadium. Gentlemen, American sportsmen, through whose vision and courage this imposing edifice, destined to become the home of champions, was erected and dedicated to the American game of baseball. So there we have it. Jacob Rupert Jr., sometimes known as Jake or the Colonel. All right, our third and final inductee in the 2013 induction year is Deacon White. Deacon White. Full name James Lowry White, known as Deacon White, inducted into the Hall of Fame 2013. Primary team was the Buffalo Bisons, and his primary position was a third baseman. At one time in White's professional career, he played all 9 positions on the field, including 2 appearances pitching. He primarily played third base and catcher, and is considered one of the best barehanded catchers of his time. White was a standout catcher in a catcher-important era. Catchers did not use any equipment and were positioned much farther back from the pitcher than in modern baseball. Just catching the ball was considered an advantage, but White could catch and throw runners out. White was 42 during his last season and had been the oldest player in the league for his last 4 seasons. He was also one of the first ever players to be voted an MVP and earned the honor in 1875 when his Red Stockings went 71-8 that year. At the end of his career, White had a career batting average of .312, 2,067 hits in just 1,560 games, and 988 RBIs. He led his league in batting average twice and RBI 3 times. White is the oldest player elected to the Hall of Fame, having a birthday December 2nd, 1847. That predates any other player enshrined in Cooperstown. So there we have it, our third and final inductee for the 2013 class, James Laurie White, known commonly as Deacon White. So yes, those are, again, our 3 inductees for 2013. Hope you enjoyed this video. We do have still one viewer left in here. Not as attended as usually my pack breaks or my other content that I do. But I do really enjoy doing this and going through. Really like the story on the Yankee owner. Yes, that's why I'm kind of going through the Hall of Fame series. Again, last month in May, I started with 2019. You can catch all my videos if you want to get up to date on my channel. Give me some more view time. Even if you don't watch, if you have a computer near you when you do your separations or sorting, for those that do that kind of stuff, that's what I listen. I listen to a lot of different channels that I subscribe to. I try to go to a different new channel each day and stuff and watch some of their videos. And anybody that does jump on here, I do subscribe to their channels, so to give me more content to listen to when I'm separating, sorting cards for my Hall of Fame collection or my rookies or subsets, serial, any oddball type cards. So I do a lot of separations, and I haven't quite got through. I still got probably another 20,000, 30,000 cards to go through, and then I'll be able to work on different sets and projects that I'm working on. I do have a store on eBay. If you're here on the channel, or if you watch the video, if you get a chance, jump onto Jab's family tonight for their Fan Mail Friday, and The Past is Alive, John Jabs' channel. I sent them each a package, and I'll see if they give me the shout out that I have inside there for each of their packages. But I will be listing and having an address there that you can go after later on, probably next week. I'll probably post it on the link from my YouTube page. There is a link on my YouTube page. If you go along the top of the channel, you'll have an About Me tab. Click on the About Me tab. You'll see a link on the bottom to my eBay account, where I do list products online on eBay. And then also I will be putting a link in there soon for my Patreon page. I do have a Patreon page. Don't expect anybody to subscribe, but if you do want to help out the channel, I started this the 1st of May. I am fully retired now, so I'm on a very limited budget. But I'm almost to the point to where I'm at my budget for buying any new stuff. And then, sorry, let me pan up now so you can see me. I am wearing my Hall of Fame regalia today. And also I do have my Hall of Fame hat on. This is Griffey and Piazza in 2016. But yeah, I just like baseball, like sharing the content on the channel here. But pretty soon my things will be dwindling. I'll have to think of other things to do. But I figured through Fan Mail Friday, if I get people involved and interested, I can get packages in. And if they send me a note and say what they're looking for, I can try and look through my massive collection that I have and things that I do list in my store. I can try and help them out and send them something when they send me a package. So, but yeah, I do have one person. A second said they're going to send me something. I haven't got nothing yet, but yeah. So I'm just excited about everything that I'm doing in the channel. This is a short one, and since you still in there, Sportsline? All right. Well, there's only one viewer. I got 2 thumbs up. I had a few more viewers in here, I probably would have just thrown something extra in here. I was hoping yesterday I would have got it. I got 2 packages coming today, but I don't know if that's fan mail. If it is, I might do a short video, jump in live. But yeah, what I'll do is probably just end this video for now. Tomorrow I will be doing a box break Saturday. I haven't fully decided what type of box out of my boxes that I do have. Sometimes it's just a blaster box. It might be a small hobby box or something like that. But I will choose something that we can open on the channel tomorrow. And then just a little heads up for next week. Next week, I am an assistant pastor in our church, so I do keep busy. Next week, we are having our vacation Bible school in our church, and I'm involved with that. I've been recruited this year. So that'll be in the mornings. So I'll be shifting my live times to the afternoon. So I haven't fully decided the time. I got to make sure we're done with the vacation Bible school and I have time to get home and get online, but it'll be probably between 1 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. But as soon as I decide and get confirmation as far as when our VBS is going to end, probably around noonish or so, I will put my schedule up for my videos for next week, and we'll just take it from there. So let me, just before I end this video here, pan back down here. I'm going to pan back down here and just end this video with this in the screen. There's my email address again, dobjhn316@aol.com. All right, I probably will change my email address, but for now, I'm going to use this one. The thing is, I get so much spam and junk in this mailbox. I might just use a different one, but I'll change that later and let you know, give you an update. But until tomorrow for our box break Saturday, this is Don Blomdahl, Hall of Fame veteran, sports cards and collectibles in Arlington, Washington, signing off until now. Thanks for jumping on their sports line and being with me for this, almost the whole stream. Thanks for hopping in and take care. Till tomorrow. Bye now.